Your teeth look absolutely spectacular, and to be honest, I'm just looking at them. I'm looking at them in person, and I'm looking at them on camera, and they're just glowing. Your face is glowing.
Yeah.
How do you feel, Joanne? It's been a long journey for us. How do you feel now?
I feel me. It's a natural. I don't feel fake by having them. They feel real, they feel comfortable. And 90% of the time, I forget that they are implants. It just feels normal, it feels comfortable. So for me, that's a big plus.
Amazing. Something you told me during the process, and from time to time, I remember things you've told me.
It's scary.
Yeah, it's scary. You said that how you felt before you decided to make the first step, and how you felt that people were judging you.
People with teeth decay, teeth problems, people judge you, and especially with teeth loss. I don't even think people know that they're doing it, but if you meet somebody and they're missing a tooth in the front, their character, they judge your character on that. It's a bit like the old moccasins, Broadmeadows. It's just a stigma that sticks with dental loss.
Has that, naturally, it's a silly question to ask, has that changed? Because that,
huge.
And how do you feel about yourself now?
Confidence is through the roof to what it was. The fact that I'm sitting here talking to you doing this, confidence is greatly improved. Happiness is greatly improved. You don't realise. See, I lost teeth at the back, and even though they weren't visible, I constantly was, when's the front one going to come? Like when, you can get away with it when it's at the back. And then when I lost the front tooth, I was like, this needs to be fixed now. Like, it was horrible. It affected everything. I couldn't just carry on day to day.
What prompted the first step? And you also told me that you did a lot of research. It was not an easy decision for you. Can you tell me about that?
So, to decide to go to implants as opposed to a different option, I needed the feeling of my teeth were rectified and they were finished. If I had have just fixed one tooth, the one that I lost at the front, I was still going to be with, when's the next one? When every time I ate something, that feeling, that dread would have still been there. So when I looked into it, because I did have a plate with the tooth, and when I couldn't get used to it, I couldn't get comfortable. If I was home, the first thing I did was I took it off, and it just wasn't for me. I know many people have them, but it wasn't for me. And I felt implants were going to be a resolution rather than a patch. And so that's what made me push to go that way. And look, to be honest, it's a big financial commitment, and I don't think I would have done that. Only Steve said, we're fixing this, it's impacting you, we're doing it. And he pushed me along and sort of went, we're doing what's right for you, regardless of the financial.
Do you think you wouldn't have made the big decision without his support?
I don't do things for me. I do things for everybody around. That's me. That's who I am. I like doing things for people. So no, I don't think I would have spent. I couldn't wrap my brain around doing that thing.
You couldn't justify doing something for yourself.
No.
It's easy to give, and it's not as easy to
I don't like,
receive.
believe it or not, I don't like the spotlight. I'd rather be in the background, and there could be somebody walking down the street. If there's something I could do to help them, I will. That's who I am. So to do a big thing like this, but on the backside of that is, now that we're at the end of the journey, I think, how could I have not done this sooner? because it makes me a better person, it makes me a happier person, it makes me better to be around. So by doing the right thing by myself, I'm also doing the right thing about the people in my life around me that I care about.
And it's changed the way you feel, and it's impacted your confidence.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You told me how you made a decision once you decided that it needed to be done, that you needed to look into full mouth implants, how you chose who is going to do it for you. That was an interesting feedback for us as well.
So, of course, where does everybody go when they're looking at these things? Google. So I did research. I came across, there's a lot of big corporate places. Me personally, I've always liked a smaller personal business. So for me, corporate sort of got knocked out early on. And then I was reading your articles. Of course, you read your credentials and your study and all the rest and how long you've been doing it. But reading your articles, it came across that you were approachable, you were genuine. You made a referral to, I'll buy a bruised apple because I can cut the bruise out of the apple. But do you really want to, take a second chance on your teeth? It can done once, done properly, and that weighed heavily to me. So, I always had the thought, I found it a lot of pressure because to me, it had to be done right. Because if it was an error was made or it wasn't a great job, all my teeth are now gone, and it needs to be done properly the first time. And I needed to have that confidence and approachability that I could come and say, I'm worried about this or I'm concerned about this, so that the journey, I understood the journey and knew where things were at, and that way I could follow through with it.
Joanne, it's been a journey, and it's not always a day, teeth in 1 day, teeth in 3 days as is advertised. And people get surprised when I tell them that actually it's a journey that might take 6 months, 7 months, a year, over a year. Yes, you might have new teeth in 3 days, but there is more to it.
Yes.
Tell us about your journey. Was it easy? Was it difficult? How did you find it?
It was easy because anything that arose was discussed. So I understood where we were at. It was in my best interest. For example, 3 days, the 3-day temp teeth that go in didn't fit totally the way that you would like. I thought they were great, but you knew better and knew that the bite wasn't quite what you wanted. And so you called in and had the technician come and rescan and get it all done. So that meant I still didn't have teeth, but it was only, the technician was also great. That's the advantage of being an Australian lab. He was right here, it was only a matter of days, I had the new teeth back within a week. So yes, I went a couple of days later, but everybody understood the urgency and worked to accommodate it. So it's, you've got an approachable dentist who's making sure that everything looks well. You've got the lab working well within the dentist who's right here and very close by. I mean, I remember that the tech actually left his Christmas holiday to come and do the scan, understanding that it was important for me to have them as quick as I can. So, and moving forward, I also had to postpone my treatment, and you were gracious and said, we're at a point we can stop and we can just retake it up. So it's having that approachability and that understanding. And I felt as though we worked together. You understood that life's busy and that, sometimes things come up or, things take time and vice versa. So we worked together, and I didn't feel as though I was just somebody walking in the door. There was a mutual respect every time I came in. If I had a question, you answered it. if you wanted to know something from me, or you wanted, the teeth weren't quite aligning, I understood. So we extended the time frame on that. So yes, things come up, but it's how these things are resolved that makes a difference. So, for example, had you have gone, they're good enough, she won't know the difference, and let me go on without it, you could have. But the fact that you did that, I knew you had my best interest. And I also, now that I'm at the end of the journey and understand you a lot more, you want to do the best you can each and every time. And that, I've experienced that, because you've had things change for the matter of millimetres to make sure it's there. So I know that I've got the best result, and you've carried me through and explained it all through, so it's been a great journey.
Thank you so much, Joanne, and I really appreciate your words, because we really do put our hearts and souls into it, and it is a journey for everyone. And to hear your words of appreciation means the world to us. So thank you very much. Thank you. And we had a few other things that we had to change our direction and change our plan. Instead of me reminding you, would you mind mentioning a few words about early on in the piece, straight after the surgery? I came back and I said, Joanne, we got to do something else here. Would you mind reminding me of that one? No? Can't remember?
No? Do you want to refresh my memory?
I took 2 implants out and I put them back in the game.
Oh, yes.
Because yes. I wasn't happy with how stable they were, remember?
That's right. You did, sorry. Yes. Part of the journey was that 2 implants, which, anyone with a medical background would totally understand that these things happen, and these variables. Everyone heals differently, everybody behaves differently, so these variables in it. And again, you took them out because you weren't happy and made sure I had the best chance of them being a long-term positive and working. But at the time you said to me, Joanne, I'm not happy with these, they're not tight enough, I'm going to take them out, but don't worry, we're going to put them back in, and we'll put them back in here. And that's what you did. And so because of it, I'm confident that all of my implants I'm going to have for a long time. And they're comfortable, and we've had no, healing problems. They've all been great. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, I am appreciative. I've just got old lady.
I'm glad that didn't stick in your mind.
No, because
I'm glad that wasn't the big thing.
No, but to me, there was always going to be variables. There was things going to happen, and the fact that you took them out and let them heal, I found reassuring, because I knew then you're not doing what's the short way, the quick way, the shortcut way. You're doing what needed to be done for the best possibility of a great result. So the decision was based on my best interest rather than a business best interest.
And thank you for that. And it's very important for anyone who's thinking of embarking on this journey. It's important to understand that it is a journey, it is a process, it's not a precise science. We do our best with the information, the evidence that we have to achieve the best outcome for each and every person. And an expectation that implants replace teeth and they are bulletproof, so to speak, is an unrealistic expectation.
Yeah.
We know a lot about implants, but there are some things we still don't know. So we work towards achieving the best outcome, whatever it takes, and that's important to understand when people are thinking of doing this.
Yes.
Yeah. Joanne, were there any difficulties, any difficult moments for you that you can think of, or if not, that's okay, but anything that people who are thinking of doing this should know?
I was fearful. The only difference, once I made the decision and once my temp teeth were in, I was I relaxed quite a lot.
Mhm.
But up until then, the gravity of, I still had teeth. Yes, they weren't in great shape, but I still had teeth. So the gravity of removing all of my teeth was huge because there was no going back.
Mhm.
If this didn't work, I was going to be left with dentures. And I knew that I wouldn't find them comfortable because I couldn't get used to the plate. So that to remove all my teeth was huge. It was, and the fear that if it didn't go to plan, what's next? And that's where your experience, your approachability, and being able to chat. I mean, I rang up, it was a week or two before my surgery, and I said, I'm worried about this. And you said, yep, come in. I haven't got a spot, but I'll see you before my lunch break. And I only needed 5 minutes of your time, but I just needed that bit of reassurance, which, yes, we could have done it over the phone, but me being me, personal abilities, more like it's better. And you gave me that time. So, but other than that, the whole journey's been easy. There's been no fear.
Joanne, what would you say to any person who's watching us and thinking about replacing their teeth with implants? Honestly, now that you've gone through this process.
Seriously consider it. It's such a personal decision. But if it's a path that you think may be right for you, take you up on your initial consultation, go and have a chat. Because the honest feedback, I can say that what you tell people is honest because I've experienced it. So come in, have a chat and talk it through because their situation may be different to mine, will be different to mine. We've all got different thoughts and wants and needs and all the rest. But you can give them what you can offer and how it can be. But on the back end of the journey, you just smile.
Yeah.
You just smile because you're there. It's like a weight lifted. It just makes you happy.
The very last question, Joanne. Tell us about what you do, because you've got a business as well.
Oh, now you want me to smile, don't you? So you mention it.
Yeah.
I do pet grooming and doggy daycare, and yes, I have the best job in the world that everybody tells me on a daily basis. They're my kids. I have them running around my feet all day. They come running in the door. I started off by being a vet nurse, and then I got into grooming because unfortunately many had bad experiences. One bad experience can make a long-term effect on a pet. So when I was a nurse, I started grooming the ones that no one else would do, or if I didn't do, they would need sedation. And so I started off, I do things like I groom them sitting on my knee and give them a cuddle. You realize the difference a cuddle can make, that reassuring. And yes, you don't give us cuddles, but it's similar to what you do because you give them reassurance to keep going. So yeah, I play the dog.
And what you're saying is not so different to us. I mean, we are animals. We love attention. One bad experience at a dentist.
That's right.
Carries through one's life.
Yeah, and that's where that reassurance comes back. I deal with dogs. If a dog doesn't like you, it'll run away or it'll try and bite you. There's that honesty about them, which is what I love about, which is why as a person I hold honesty so high. And that's why I've probably mentioned it 10 times during this conversation, because I honestly believe that you are honest to your clients. And to me, that's huge.
Thank you very much, Joanne. And we're jealous of your job as well. As much as I love my job, it's very engaging and it's very interesting for me. but the I haven't got little puppies running around my
Right.
feet, and I always think if I'm in a bad mood, all I have to do is to look at an animal.
That's
So
right.
you must be very happy.
Well, you
in
get
your
your
work.
job satisfaction by me sitting here being ear to ear with a smile. In exactly the same, I managed to clip and get matted hair off a pet that's been absolutely terrified when it comes in. And through time and patience and working it through and that reassurance, I can then groom that pet. There's my job satisfaction. I'm not about busy, show dogs. That's not my thing, and great to people who are. Mine's about making it the best experience it can be. I want happy tails on the way in and happy tails on the way out. You want smiles on the way in and smiles on the way out. Same deal.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Joanne. It's always a joy chatting, and the first time we did it, it was fun, and the second time too. And Steph, can you please tell us that the microphones work?
Confirm.
Have you turned it?